So, I'm headed back to my place. What shall I talk about with you lovely people today? Oh, I don't even fucking know. Am I even recording? Yeah, I'm recording. Alright guys, so today I think I'm gonna hit one of the kind of like the required topics for a moto vlogger. This is something that I'm almost 100% sure we all get asked many times. So I'm going to go ahead and make a video of it, make a vlog about it, so that way I can direct people to a video instead of having to send out personal messages all the time. And that topic is 600 versus the leader bikes, right? I get a message all the time. Hey, I'm going to get my first bike and I want to get a Yamaha R1, or do you think R6 is a good bike, and do you think it's got enough power, or should I just get a leader bike? And I get the question all the time. So let's see. To start off, I've never ridden a leader bike, so I'm kind of I'm somewhat biased, I guess. I don't know if bias is the right term, but I've always ridden 600s, or 600cc motorcycles. I guess, I don't know if a SV650 is considered that, but you know, you get what I'm saying. I've always ridden in that range, the 650 to 600 range, and I ride around town. I drive down the highway a considerable amount, and I do a lot of mountain riding, or as much as possible while the season's good. So, what is my take on it? Well, I feel like the one reason, or you know what, there's two. I'll be nice today and say two. There's only two reasons I could ever see anybody getting a leader bike. If you want to do wheelies down the highway, get a leader bike. You know, I mean, you can do it with a 600, but obviously with that much more power, you can do it a lot easier. Or if you want to tour, if you want to go touring, I would suggest a leader bike. You know, something like a ZX14, something that's going to be really big and comfortable for a long ride. Those are the two reasons. I wouldn't get an R1 for touring. But you get what I'm saying. Those are the two reasons to get that engine size. Why do I think like that? Well, let's just play around with some numbers. An R6, like, I'll just go ahead and give this disclaimer. I've done no like research before this topic, but from what is logical, I'm not going to use numbers, but I'm going to use in a sense, I'm going to use numbers. Anyway, fuck all that. Alright, so when you're on the mountain, this is for the mountain portion of the comparison. The only time you're ever really gonna, probably 90% of the people that ask me, oh, should I start on a leader bike or a 600cc bike? 90 to 98% of those people are nowhere near good enough to use a leader bike. There's no way they're going to be able to harness that much power in a productive manner. This R6 I have, I rag the shit out of it on Blood Mountain and Fort Mountain when I go to the mountains up here in Georgia. And I am nowhere close, not even kind of close, to maxing this bad boy out. When I max this bad boy out and I need to be able to, I need more power, once again, I'm telling you, I don't know where that would come in. But if for some reason I need more power, that was when I would be ready for a leader bike. I am probably 10 years out from having that kind of ability. What other reasons what do you need? Oh, so R1's got to be like 500 something pounds, right? I probably got about 100 pounds less on this R6 than I do in R1. so it's going to be easier to throw around. Also, if I come to a stop, or if I have to come to an emergency stop, and the bike kind of comes up and falls over to one side, it's going to be a lot easier for me to hold the bike up because it's not as heavy. Also, with it being a smaller bike, it's going to be easier to flick around turns, so I'm going to be able to get through most turns faster than I would on a leader bike if I was at my same experience level, which is, if I was at this experience level right here, I can go faster on this R6 up a mountain than I could with a faster bike with like an R1 or a CBR 1000 RR. A small thing, I guess, would be gas mileage. Gas mileage is kind of a tricky subject because it all depends on how you ride. So a guy that rides an R1 could legitimately get better gas mileage than me on an R6 if we rode to the extremes. You know, like if I rode at really high RPMs all the time, and if he rode really low all the time. So you can get better gas mileage, it just a lot depends on how you ride. So I really don't see a point in having a leader bike, especially if you are new enough to have to ask. No fucking way. I have never recommended anyone ever getting a leader bike when they ask me. You got to understand, professionals use tricked out leader bikes and they're able to use them to their full potential. There's no point in paying the more insurance, the more gas. You can't turn it as much. The only thing you can do is go faster in a straight line. And to be honest, I've been riding for a little over a year now, and it's really not a lot of fun to have going in a straight line on a motorcycle. Sure, wheelies are fun and all, but I mean, I would much rather be able to throw my bike around in a canyon or a mountain than do a wheelie down the highway, which I can still do on a R6. So the question about a 1000 versus a 600 Super Sport, no question, get a 600cc motorcycle. If you're, and I'm sure some people are going to watch this and be like, oh, you can do this in a fat leader bike, and you can do this, and you can do that. This is my opinion. This is how I feel about it. I'm sure everybody has their own different opinions, but from what I've noticed, or from what I feel, there's no reason to get anything more than a 600 unless you know you can handle every single bit of that bike. Because, I mean, if you look at it, leader bikes aren't that much faster than 600cc bikes. Insurance is going to be a lot different, I'm sure. But, I mean, they're not horribly faster. And as big as they are. But, then again, the newer bikes are getting tinier and tinier, so the leader bikes are getting pretty tiny, so that whole flicking it around curves doesn't really matter as much. But my fact still stands. I'm not going to pay higher insurance costs, higher gas bill, and not be able to turn my bike as much, you know? So that's my opinion, guys. If you have any questions, you know, specific questions, I'll gladly answer them for you. But generally, I highly recommend 600cc Super Sports over leader bikes. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and look for my next one on Tuesday. I'm going to go play some Battlefield 3. Later.